Hello, I'm back again. DJ here, David John Harris of the Electric. I'm back again for the second time today, and I'm going to talk about a very, very important subject. And in recent times there's been a lot of interest in the grooming gangs. You know, those more aptly named rape gangs. But people are frightened to say rape, aren't they? I don't know why, because that's what they're doing. But politicians and newscasters, it's grooming gangs. So I'm going to talk about grooming, and what can I and what can you do about grooming gangs? Well, let's not concentrate at the moment on grooming gangs, but on the victims of these grooming rape gangs. So I want to talk to you about how we can reverse. Well, we can't reverse the time, can we? It's happened. But it's happening now as well. So if we knew more about the methods of the groomers and their child victims, perhaps we'd be better equipped to prevent further abuses of our children by these dangerous paedophiles. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty, shall we? The first section in our study today is going to be recognising that a child is being groomed. It's rare for a child to tell an adult they're being groomed. A child may not feel able to seek help because they're unaware they're being groomed. If they were aware, then they wouldn't be groomed. They believe that they are in a caring relationship and are worried about jeopardising the relationship. They're scared of what the groomer will do if they speak out. So you get the first two stages, that they're unaware they're being groomed and they think they're in a caring relationship. The groomer, sorry about this throat, the groomer tells them they're the boyfriend, they're the girlfriend, they're the person who looks after them and cares for them and loves them. And so they believe they're in a caring relationship. And then afterwards, when it turns sour, they're scared of what the groomer will do if they speak up. They don't want to get sometimes they don't want to get the groomer into trouble, and they blame themselves for being involved in the relationship, and they're ashamed and worried about sharing what's happened to them with other people. It's all understandable, isn't it? When you start looking at these things, you can understand that a child who's been sexually molested could be worried and ashamed of what's happened to them. They blame themselves for getting involved, for being so vulnerable. They don't want to get the groomer in trouble because of the circumstances and the recompense that could happen to them. If a child does speak out, you should reassure them that they've done the right thing in telling you, and that what's happened to them, it wasn't their fault. They were tricked. The groomer was insincere. Which signs should I look out for then? Professionals and us, what should we do? We should be aware of and able to recognise the signs that a child may have been groomed. Now, I'll give you some signs of how the child could be groomed and what to look for. Sudden changes in their behaviour, such as spending more or less time online, spending more time away or going missing from home or school. That's a big one, because these groomers are hanging outside the schools and picking them up and taking them elsewhere to be sexually molested. Being secretive about how they're spending their time, including using their online time. Misusing alcohol and or drugs as their behaviour changed because of the alcohol and their drugs taking. Having a friendship or relationship with a much older person. Developing sexual health problems. Using sexual language you wouldn't expect them to know. Seeming upset or withdrawn. Mental health problems. Now, please note here Signs of grooming can easily be mistaken for typical teenage behaviour. You know the teenagers, how they seem to change from a loving, attentive child to a grumpy old man or woman. But you may notice unexplained changes in their behaviour or personality or inappropriate behaviour for their age. Now, grooming behaviours. We need to cover those. Grooming typically uses certain patterns of behaviour to lead a child to believe that what is happening is normal, or to make the child feel trapped. The grooming relationship can move quickly from being something that seems positive, with positive benefits, for a child to be frightening and isolating. Gaining the trust. A groomer hides their true intentions and over time gains the child's trust and confidence in order to abuse them. The child or young person is conditioned to respect, trust and love their groomer. They may not understand that they're being groomed because they consider the groomer to be a friend, even a boyfriend or a girlfriend. The groomer may also work to gain the trust of the whole family to allow them to be left alone with the child. If the groomer works with children, they may use similar tactics with their colleagues. Watch out, colleagues. Okay, let's talk about how groomers gain the trust of our young children, pretending to be someone they're not. For example, saying they are the same age as a child online or a similar age. Offering advice and understanding. Buying them gifts. Giving the child attention. Using their professional position or reputation. Taking the child on trips, outings or holidays. Beware. Gaining power. Once they've established the trust, groomers will exploit the relationship by isolating the child from friends, from family, and making the child feel dependent on them. Groomers will use their power and control to make the child believe they have no choice but to do whatever the groomer wants. So they start off, they offer some advice. Now, this advice is not necessarily good advice. It can be. But it can be that your parents wouldn't let you go out last night. They're obsessive, aren't they? I'd have let you out. Why don't you sneak out? Buying them gifts so your parent wouldn't let you have a new phone. There you are. Giving the child attention. A bit more arms round, sort of attention, listening to them and their silly little problems and taking them overly serious. Oh, and that happened to you? Oh, I can't believe it. Yes, it's all done within 17. Secrets. The groomer may introduce secrets as a way to control or frighten the child. Sometimes they'll blackmail the child to make them feel ashamed or guilty to stop them telling anyone about the abuse. This is an online abuse where they get the child to show a naked picture of themselves and then in secret and then say, if you don't show me more, I will show your parents what you've sent me. They've got them, haven't they? Control. Manipulation. Groomers use a range of strategies to entrap a child and manipulate them. They present themselves as approachable, likeable, and having shared interests with the child they're targeting. When we have our children of our own, show interest in them. Show interest in their hobbies, their interests. Give them a bit of support so that they're not looking for it outside where a groomer is there to say, oh yeah, that's interesting, and get them on their side. There's Childline service, isn't there? And it offers support and advice to children and young people who have been groomed. One young person told them, I'm going to read some cases out now, told them about a manager of an online game that used to offer to make him a moderator as part of the grooming process. At first, this is what the young man said, at first I thought it was cool. This manager was giving me extra responsibility on the server. They told me how much they trusted me, which made me feel important. Make your child feel important? Yeah, easy, isn't it? Lately, though, things have gone a bit weird. Like they say, I love you a lot. They say it so much it makes me feel like I have to say it back. We've also been watching movies together, and most stuff they want to watch is explicit and meant for adults. This was a boy aged 13. You can see how it's working, can't you? Oh, you're indispensable to me. Oh, you're so good. Oh, I'm gonna make you one of my top servers, a manager. 13-year-old boy. Wow, 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 wow. And then come and watch a film with me. Pornographic. Groomers will test a child's compliance by persuading them to carry out inappropriate or abusive activities. They use tactics such as reverse psychology. I'll give you an example. I'm not sure about this. I think you might be too young. No, I'm not. Or strategic withdrawal such as, it was just an idea. It's completely up to you. Which gives the child the impression they're in control of the situation. Online grooming, and I did mention this a bit earlier, didn't I, about getting them to send pictures of themselves, which are inappropriate pictures. Let me tell you about that one, shall I? Let's see if I can find something on it. Groomers can use social media, instant messaging apps, or online gaming platforms to connect with young person or child. And it's easy for groomers to hide their identity online. They may pretend to be younger than they really are, and then chat and become friends with children. Groomers can use multiple online platforms to contact the same child. They can spend time learning about the young person's interests from their online profiles and posts, then use this knowledge to help them build up a relationship. Then once the relationship has been established, they might encourage the child to communicate using private or encrypted messages. Groomers may look for usernames or comments that are flirtatious or have a sexual meaning. Public comments that suggest a child has a low self-esteem or is vulnerable. However, groomers don't always target one particular child. Sometimes they'll send messages to hundreds of young people and wait to see who responds. The online environment makes it easier for groomers to target several children at once. It can also make the grooming process much quicker. Groomers don't need to meet the children in real life to abuse them. After making online contact, a groomer may convince a child to meet in person. However, groomers can also sexually exploit children and young people by persuading them to take part in online activities, which I mentioned earlier, didn't I, with the photographs. The Internet Watch Foundation found that over 70% of identified child sexual abuse images in 2021 were self-generated. They got the child to abuse themselves. They start off with a girl, show your breasts. Oh, show your bottom. Show your vagina. Put something in. Bit by bit, persuasion. Oh, well, you did that. If you don't, I'll tell your parents. Oh, you did that. Why can't you go one further? Oh, all right, then we won't be friends anymore then. Social media and other online platforms are also used to groom children to involve them in criminal exploitation. It's rare for a child to tell an adult about being groomed. I mentioned that at the beginning. This means we don't know how common grooming is. It's thought that the grooming gangs, the rape gangs, have raped up to 1 million children in Britain. Now, we're only hearing in the media about white children, but the Sikhs and the Hindus had a big problem with sexual grooming and raping of their daughters and some boys. And they fought against it, and they're fighting against it now. And there's some brilliant organisations. There's SAS, which is the Sikh Awareness Society. Their leader is a brilliant man who campaigns and fights and will protect all races. Although it's called the Sikh Awareness, they will help any child that is being groomed, is in danger of being groomed. They will pay for private detectives to follow. They'll take things to court. They'll be with the child, supporting them in court. And they are a brilliant organisation. So big up to SAS, Sikh Awareness Society. That's made me emotional because I know what the work they do. And it is marvellous. Marvellous. Give me a few minutes, a few seconds. Okay. Children may not speak out because they're ashamed. They feel guilty, unaware they're being abused, believe they're in a relationship with a boyfriend or the girlfriend because they use girls to get other girls or to get young boys. But the grooming relationship can move quickly from being something that seems positive benefits for the child to being very frightened and isolated. Initially, the child or young person is conditioned to respect, trust and love their groomer. They may not understand they're being groomed because they consider their groomer to be a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a parental figure. The child may feel uncomfortable with what they're being asked to do, but not feel able to say no or to seek help because they're worried about jeopardising the relationship if they don't give consent. They're scared of what the groomer will do if they speak out or refuse to comply. They don't want to get the groomer in trouble. They blame themselves for getting involved in the relationship in the first place. And they're ashamed of sharing sexual details with other people. So what makes a child more vulnerable to grooming? Well, the grooming can affect any child regardless of age, gender, race or socio-economic background. However, children who may be particularly vulnerable include looked after children, children known to social care in the care homes. Groomers target these care homes because the children are in care because they're homeless, they're orphans, they're neglected, they've been abused already. They're vulnerable. They're looking for someone to love them and care for them. And in care homes, the staff, they come and go. They're not there as a parental figure. They're not there as a loving figure. And so that groomer outside, he's the loving figure. Children who are exploring their sexuality and identity online are vulnerable. Those with special educational needs and learning difficulties. For example, those who experience social and communication difficulties. Easy meat. Children with low esteem and confidence. Those who might be lacking and seeking validation. Don't put your children down. Lift them up. Don't squash them down. Give them praise for what they do well. Don't keep on about, you didn't clean your room, you didn't empty the bin, you didn't do this. No. Oh, well done, John. I see your room's been cleaned. Well done. I'd really appreciate that, John. Thank you very much, John. That goes a lot better than you didn't do it. Okay? There's children who have limited awareness of online risks. Let them know what the risks are. Those online activities isn't appropriately supervised or monitored. Children who aren't in mainstream education, for example, those who've been excluded from school and are hanging around outside. Groomers see them. Cigarettes, booze, alcohol. It makes them feel grown up. They're being groomed by a grown-up who's talked to them as they are a grown-up. It's false, of course, it's insincere, but the child doesn't understand. What they see is someone treating them as an adult, giving them cigarettes to smoke and alcohol, where the parents wouldn't. Okay, children contacted the Childline about online sex abuse. They talked about difficulties forming healthy relationships and trusting people. They talked about struggling with eating and sleeping problems, having difficulty concentrating at school, experienced mental health issues including suicidal thoughts, feeling frightened of using online platforms, and feeling lonely, ashamed and embarrassed. Easy for the groomer to come in. So difficulties forming a healthy relationship and trusting people. You can trust me. Listen, I know this lovely place, and you know how it goes. Think about it. Those who have been groomed sometimes say their groomer was the first person who really seemed to understand and care about them. What did I say? As with any form of abuse, children who are disabled and those who have already experienced abuse are particularly vulnerable to grooming. Protecting the children. Raising awareness. Communities can be the strongest allies in protecting children from grooming. It's important for all professionals and all people working with children, parents, brothers, older brothers and sisters, voluntary organisations. It's important for us all to be aware of what grooming is. So, signs of grooming displayed by children. Typical grooming behaviours. It's also important that professionals and parents and volunteers are aware and know how to respond to different types of abuse and exploitation grooming can lead to, including sexual exploitation, sexual abuse, online abuse, radicalisation. Yes, we didn't touch on radicalisation, but I know the story, and it's by the Sikh Awareness Society who told me this, and it was of a young girl who had very close relationship with her parents, but she felt it was smothering and kept her from doing what she wanted to do. She was 12 years of age, and her mother said, "You can't have this phone. You're too young." The groomer, "I would let you have the phone," and he bought her a phone. Hide it. Don't show your parents. And he started like that. And he said, and she said, "I can't go out at night." But she's only 12. "I can't go out. My mother keeps stopping me." And he says, "Do something which will get your parents into trouble. You'll be put in a care home, and then I can see you whenever I want, and we can see each other whenever we want." Well, this 12-year-old girl went to her father's garage, took from his toolbox a hammer, and hit her mother over the head, smashing the hammer into the skull of her mother. Radicalised. I've heard of stories where people, children, young girls, 15, and we know of them. We know Bigon. What was her name? She went to Iraq and then to Syria, and she married immediately, got pregnant, I think 3 times. The other 3 girls have disappeared. Where to, we don't know. they were radicalised to go and join Islamic Society, the ISIS, whatever it was called, radicalised by groomers. So we've got to empower our children, haven't we? We've got to empower them. Not to put them down, but empower them to make sensible, reliable decisions. So, when working to give help and aid to children and young people, we should help empower them to recognise and speak out about abuse. And this includes teaching children and young people about healthy relationships. Helping children and young people develop the awareness and skills needed to keep them safe online. And helping children to identify the safe people and places they are happy to go for support. Okay, now those are open, aren't they? I mean, helping children, talking to children about healthy relationships. How? I want your comments. I do. I really want you to comment on this one. I want you to tell me how you think you can develop your children to seek healthy relationships where they're not going to be corrupted and abused. How about let's think about this. How do we tell them about healthy relationships? First of all, we have to demonstrate a healthy relationship. So if you're a married couple with your children, a healthy relationship, how do you get on with your partner? How do you treat your children? Are you smothering them, or are you neglecting them? Are you allowing them to go out and mess about and you don't know, you're not supervising? When they come back, do you ask them what they were up to? I don't mean in sort of way, where have you been, what have you been doing? But, aye, have a good time. What did you do then? And talk around the dining table. Turn the television off if you haven't got a dining table and you sit there in front of the TV with your plate on your lap. Turn the television off. Have a conversation. Yes, talk to them. Have a conversation and express your feelings, your loving feelings. Don't overdo it. But in a loving, inquisitive, but not too much inquisitive. You see, there's a moderation in all things, isn't there? So, but show a loving relationship between you and your wife, or your wife, or your husband and your wife, and your husband and yourself. But show this love, show this understanding, and show it to your children, and give it to your children. Keep them safe. Discuss things. Don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. You did it when you was a child, as you grew up. They're doing it now. Talk to them about it. And embrace them. Both physically and spiritually, and mentally. Be together. But comments. Give us your comments. Let's hear what you've got to say. And one other thing, don't forget to subscribe. I need your subscriptions. So until the next time, because I'm going to go now, and leave you with those thoughts. So until the next time, keep those comments coming. And I'm going to say, be safe. Help your children to be safe. And I'm going to say, bye.